Hello the cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on every days. Liverpool have simple fix for Mohamed Salah absence that won't cost a penny. Mohamed Salah might not be available for Liverpool until the middle of February, depending on how Egypt does in the AFCON. In the midst of a Premier League title race, Liverpool would have preferred to avoid losing Mohamed Salah for an extended length of time. But that is exactly the dilemma Jurgen Klopp and his coaching staff will soon be forced to face with as the 31-year-old prepares to take part in the latest edition of the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON. If Egypt makes it to the competition final, Salah might be absent until February 11th when AFCON kicks off on January 13th. Salah's exit occurs at a time when the attacking options for the Reds have been spotty, with others needing to step up to fill the void left by his absence in the final third. Diogo Jota's return will help alleviate some of this goal-scoring pressure, and another player may surprise everyone by making an impact. Carvalho's circumstances aren't expected to get better anytime soon either, as Leipzig is moving to finalize a trade for Eljif Elmas, an offensive midfielder for Napoli, which will further demote him from the German team's hierarchy. Due to Carvalho's current circumstances, which are neither advantageous to the 21-year-old or the Reds, Liverpool has reportedly held discussions about recalling the player, according to an earlier story from the Echo this month. For the second part of the current season, Klopp may choose to keep the 2021-2022 championship winner, but he might also choose to loan the player to another team. The youthful player showed glimpses of brilliance during his first season on Merseyside, most notably in back-to-back games in August 2022 against Newcastle and Bournemouth, where the former Fulham star scored in both matches despite just playing off the bench. In December of last year, during a Carabao Cup away match against Manchester City, Carvalho also made an impression by reacting almost immediately to Erling Haaland's opening goal at the Etihad Stadium. There is definitely a case to be made for Carvalho to have a major part based on Liverpool's January schedule. The Lisbon native might play left flank in a two-leg Carabao Cup semi-final matchup with his old team Fulham, as well as a Premier League trip to Bournemouth, giving players like Darwin Núñez and Luis Diaz a much-needed break. Preserving trophy ambitions can be maintained by retaining Carvalho on the Reds roster as they get ready to compete on all fronts at the beginning of the season. Paul Merson thinks £19 million star Liverpool sold now as good as Manchester City's Erling Haaland. After his prior setbacks at Liverpool, Paul Merson has praised Dominic Solanke and the way the Bournemouth star is demonstrating his value. The 26-year-old moved from Chelsea to Liverpool in 2017, but under Jurgen Klopp, he struggled to establish himself and only managed one goal for the team. Now, though, with 12 goals from 18 Premier League games this season, Dominic Solanke is a different species. Paul Merson told Sky Sports Football, 26/12/23 at 2:40 p.m., that he had selected Manchester City's goal-crazy striker, Erling Haaland, up front when he was announcing his Premier League team of the season midway through. After his recent hat-trick against Nottingham Forest, the former Arsenal player believes that Dominic Solanke has been just as excellent as the treble winner this season and would have selected him in his starting lineup. The Chelsea Academy product has taken a few years to reach this point because, prior to his recent rise, many people called the £19 million star a bust. Yes, Liverpool was correct to let him go at that point, but it only goes to show that sometimes you need time to establish your value. Dominic Solanke's form for Liverpool. I chose Haaland, but I had Solanke, Merson remarked. But before to the last week, I did select this team of the season, hat-trick. He has, in my opinion, been excellent. I believe he arrived in Liverpool a little early. Failed to deliver a performance. Slipped behind the 8 ball. He went to Bournemouth, and since then, I believe he has been exceptional. He seemed like a menace to me. He gets a move if he keeps doing what he is doing, and I wouldn't be surprised. Dominic Solanke for England? Gareth Southgate's primary man will always be Harry Kane, unless he retires or falls off a cliff, which is not going to happen anytime soon. However, Solanke might be the man England needs to support the Bayern Munich player. Although he hasn't previously played for England, his performance this year justifies a national team appearance. Ollie Watkins of Aston Villa may have something to say about it, but after that, Solanke should represent England when the team is next chosen because Callum Wilson is out of form and Ivan Toney is still suspended. Liverpool and Chelsea to benefit as Premier League suspension threat disappears. The Premier League clubs that stand to gain from the prospect of a one-match ban being lifted are Liverpool and Chelsea. A player is immediately suspended if they receive 5 yellow cards in the season's first 19 games. However, most players are no longer in danger as the 19th matchday of the Premier League approaches, following Thursday night's 4-2 loss for Tottenham at Brighton and Arsenal's 2-0 loss to West Ham at home. The only players not included are those from Brentford and Manchester City who have 4 yellow cards. Due to City's involvement in the Club World Cup, their meeting against each other was postponed this month, hence, the two clubs still have to play their 19th match. The teams who stand to gain the most from the possibility of a one-game suspension being lifted are Liverpool and Chelsea. Each of them has 3 players with 4 yellow cards. Only Crystal Palace and Aston Villa have more. Trent Alexander-Arnold was booked for a 4th yellow card during the Boxing Day victory against Burnley, which saw Liverpool's Wataru Endo and Darwin Núñez tread carefully when it came to discipline. Now, in the event that they win a 5th, none of the 3 will have to miss a match. The trio of Moises Caicedo, Conor Gallagher, and Enzo Fernandez in the midfield for Chelsea is also exempt from suspension after receiving 4 yellow cards. Mauricio Pochettino will find that to be a helpful boost as the Blues attempt to move up the Premier League standings gradually. In the same way, Tottenham had 3 players to watch out for on Wednesday night against Brighton. Nevertheless, Dejan Kulusevski received a booking for yanking Danny Welbeck's shirt, and as a result, he will miss Spurs' upcoming match against Bournemouth. Yves Bissouma and Destiny Udogie have also missed games this season owing to suspension, according to Ange Postecoglou. However, Pape Matar Sarr played flawlessly against the Seagulls, and Christian Romero was out due to injury. Thus, Sarr and Romero don't have to worry about receiving match bans. Even if they have already served a one-match sentence, players who accumulate 10 yellow cards during the season will be suspended for 2 games. João Palhinha of Fulham and Nicholas Jackson of Chelsea are the 2 players who presently have 8 cautions. Bruno Fernandes, the captain of Manchester United, and Anthony Gordon and Bruno Guimaraes of Newcastle are among the players with 7 cards. City's charmer Rodri is in the group immediately behind them with 6. Ben White and Gabriel Jesus of Arsenal are both on 4 yellow cards. With just 29 yellow cards, 1 double yellow-red card, and 1 straight red card this season, the Gunners are ranked 2nd in the fair play chart. Just Luke Shaw plays for Man United, while Manchester City has no players. Newcastle has 3, Joe Linton, Jamal Lascelles, and Sean Longstaff. Aston Villa has 4, Johan Duran, Ezri Konsa, John McGinn, and Nicolo Zaniolo, and Man United has just Luke Shaw on 4. Hello the Cop, please subscribe my channel for follow Liverpool Football Club news on everydays.